Hey, look, I'm Adam Benefield. I'm running for mayor of Leander. And I get asked all the time, Adam, why are you running for mayor? You know, Leander is in a really interesting point in its history. Everybody knows the last 5 years has been marked with huge and massive residential growth. It's unbelievable. We're one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. The thing about the next mayor is this city needs commercial growth. I don't believe I'm the only one that's talked about that tonight. And so really what it boils down to is who has the ability, who has the leadership, who has the tenacity, who has the experience specific to bring in the business we need. In 2002, there was another city exactly like Leander. They had a similar population. They had similar issues. They needed sales revenue. And someone was elected in Round Rock in 2002 that had no political experience, but was a monster in the commercial development field. Fast forward many years later, Round Rock was able to negotiate deals with people like IKEA and the strip malls and the centers, and it literally put Round Rock on the map. And that's what I offer to Leander. I offer Leander a massive amount of business skills that can negotiate with developers as they want to come here. So it was interesting. A lot of people know that not many people vote. You know, I think the statistic was 4.5%, 5%, less than 1,000 people. I was at a family activity the other day, and there was a tug of war. And one of the interesting things about the tug of war is there were some men that were like 18 years old, big, strong, tough guys, and they wanted to do a tug of war with the little kids. And it was interesting because there was about 10 huge guys, maybe 15, and there was about 100 little kids. And I thought, I wonder what's going to happen here. Can these 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds really beat the giants? And so the buzzer went off, and interestingly enough, with what looked like very little effort, those grown men were pulled by those little kids. This election is going to be not about the political giants. It's not going to be about those that have been in politics for years. It's not going to be about those that are part of establishments. It's going to be about you. It's going to be about the citizens. I think that more people are going to show up to this election than in Leander history. It's going to be unbelievable. And the thing is, I believe I represent the majority of those people. I'm not the establishment guy that wants to continue on what's been going on. I'm not the guy that wants to tear down the house and just put a wrecking ball to everything. I'm the guy in the middle that's very pragmatic. I believe Leander is not broken. I think Leander has a lot of great and wonderful things happening. So what we need in the next mayor is somebody that can navigate those waters and make it happen. So some of the interesting questions that was asked was, how do you feel about giving, tax incentives to bring companies to Leander? And the short answer is, I don't agree with it. I do not agree that governments should be giving tax incentives to motivate companies to move to Leander. See, there's two things that motivate companies to move to Leander: a positive, healthy environment and low tax rates. That's what motivates companies to move to Leander. Companies want to come where the processes are easy, where people are friendly, and the tax rates are low. A lot of people don't know that in November of 2017, the city council approved to increase our TERS money, or the incentives offered to businesses, to $120 million. And that was voted unanimously. And so really what that means is if we were to get that approved, and then we were to hand that money out to businesses, what that equals is tremendous debt. It equals huge tax rates for people like you and I. I had a mom message me the other night, and she said, you know, Adam, the reason I'm voting for you is because I am doing everything I can just to afford the taxes on my house. I'm a single mom. I work long hours. My taxes per year are more than my payments, and I'm struggling. And I need a guy like you that will make a promise, not superficially saying, oh, we've lowered taxes, but yet the rate, we keep paying more each year. But I need somebody that's actually going to commit to be fiscally responsible. My questions are out of line here. Sorry about that. Let me pull it up on my phone. So, one of the questions here is how do you, what is your position on giving up Leander's economic development money to Capital Metro? The answer is, I don't like giving money to anybody. I don't like giving money to anybody ever. Now, do I think there's anything that we can do about it? No. I don't think that there's some kind of magical wand or some kind of magical contract that you can just go out there and renegotiate per se, okay? There are too many people like ACC, the Gold Depository, the hospital, like Alex Turnberg, who just invested almost $15 million, and he did those things because of Cap Metro. So how do you make Cap Metro work? Well, you have to build. See, the TOD has been sitting vacant for 14 years. Nobody's moving here. Nobody's moving here because we haven't fostered the growth that we need to encourage businesses to come here. And so Cap Metro, I believe, although it's incredibly painful to pay today, I think 10 years down the road when ACC is built and the hospital's built and the TOD is built, I actually think Cap Metro will do what it is designed to do. I had a developer come to me the other day, and he said, Adam, I want you to be mayor, but I want you to know that I'm going to be asking for about $25 million in TERS money. I'm not your guy. I'm not your guy because I don't believe in that kind of government regulations. So, the other question was, how would you propose to address the water cost issues that Leander is facing? Look, we got the short end of that deal. You know, we were desperate for water. Everybody will tell you we were desperate for water. The issue is this. The individuals that negotiated the contract back when that deal happened, they didn't foresee economic downturn. They believed because Leander was growing that Leander was always going to grow. And so the lack of experience in people that negotiated those contracts are now put on your backs because they didn't understand how it works. So they solved one problem, which was we have reliable water. Now the question is, how do we afford it? Again, we can't go to Round Rock and say, hey, look, we made a mistake. We want to renegotiate. We're sorry. They're not going to go for it. Phase 2, the deep water impact, actually gives us a unique opportunity. Because for the first time, they want something that we don't actually need. And that's progress. And so what it does, it gives us an opportunity. It gives us the advantage. They're pushing for something. We're not. It gives us an opportunity to hold strong, to ask the right questions, to be firm in our resolve, so that if we do proceed forward with phase 2, if we do decide, okay, we're going to do it, but we're going to do it under one stipulation. We're going to balance this deal out. We're going to make it fair, we're going to make it equitable, but still maintain the high quality of water that we deserve. So phase 2, even though I don't think Leander is necessarily ready for it, I do think it provides us an opportunity to to make things better. So lack of transparency. You know, it's interesting. I had a friend. I was at church. I was in Sunday school because I teach the little kids sometimes. And this girl who I consider to be a friend of mine, she has small kids too. She had this massive piece of Rice Krispie on her lip. And I said, hey, I just wanted to let you know you got some like Rice Krispie on your lip. And she's like, Adam, you're such a jerk. Like, what? So about 2 minutes later, I tapped her on the shoulder and I was like, hey, I'm actually being serious. You really do have Rice Krispie on your lip right here. You need to deal with it. And she looked at me and she's like, whatever. So church was over. I went outside and I said, yeah, she was kind of weird today. And my wife's like, well, tell me what happened. So I told her what happened. And I was like, I had the Rice Krispie on her lip. And she's like, oh, Adam, that wasn't a Rice Krispie. That was a zit. I was like, oh. So I went to her. I said, look, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean that. And what I learned is that there was a tremendous lack of communication. I wasn't trying to be rude. She wasn't trying to be rude. So when we talk about transparency, the biggest issue that is seen in the city today is just communication. You know, when you go to these pre-development meetings, these are done behind closed door with city officials, and there's no citizen representation. Companies want to move here, and they tell the city what their problems are, and then you can ask a council member, hey, why didn't we get that company? And they will say things like, I don't know what you're talking about. We need council members that are representing the citizens in those pre-development meetings so that we can hear what they're saying. We can hear their problems. We can hear their struggles. And then if we need to, we can make adjustments. We can modify our game plan to attract those businesses. The other thing that we need is we need to talk to our developers. We need to talk to our landowners. And we need to say, what are the things that you're struggling with? What are your challenges? We can't fix all 100 of them tomorrow. But what we can do is we can foster an environment where businesses want to come here by listening to their problems, making a list, categorize them in the top 5 or 6 issues, and then let's get to work. Let's figure out how to make this work, and let's figure out how to get these businesses to move here without giving them money. I do not think you have to give them money to incentivize them. The last question on ISD taxes. You know, I actually reached out to a board member on the budget committee for ISD, and I said, hey, what are your thoughts on this? And his answer was, look, there's really not much that city council can do to control ISD taxes because it's a voter-approved measure, right? I do think density, housing density, does play a role in ISD taxes. The more people that are here in smaller houses, the less money they're paying towards the big picture, towards the pie. And so if you have a lot of people living in high-density homes, that's going to require more infrastructure with less tax dollars coming in. So even though those are voter measures, and there's very little that you can do about it, if you're committed to single-family homes, like I am, then I think that's going to alleviate some of the issues that we're having with ISD. I look forward to being your mayor. I'm excited to be your mayor. I'm excited to fulfill the promises that I've made to you. And on May 5th, I'm asking you to be one of the little kids pulling the rope, pulling the Giants across the finish line. Because on May 5th, the outsider, the businessman, is going to win this election if you will come out the way that people have said they would. Thank you and have a nice day.